It's time for the Jim Masters Show, live entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us, everybody, from all around the world. We are here in the United States. We are in the New York area. That's right. That's the home base for what we call JMS Levity Hall. That's right. Viewers call this Levity Hall because the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. We always have a good time on our show, and our guests, wow, they come in from everywhere, international, all around the world, from Hollywood, Broadway, and television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, music. Yes, and we always have a good time with all of you because the show is live, very interactive. If you'd like to comment while the show is on, you can do that right now in what we call the JMS Levity Hall chat room. That's a chat room that is open and available when the show is live. So if you'd like to say hello to us right now while the show is on, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now. It costs nothing to subscribe. You just hit the subscribe button. Lets us know you're enjoying these hundreds of episodes that we have for you here on the show. They're all archived. You can spend days binge watching all the past guests and all the entertainment and poignant conversations and all the cool things we have done. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can comment in our Jim Masters Show Levity Hall fantastic chat room that we have that is designed for all of you. So if you enjoy what we're doing, all the great music, all these great conversations, and all the fabulous guests from around the world, let us know. We might even sprinkle a comment or two on the screen during the show. Don't forget, you can also leave a comment, drop a comment on our comments section on our YouTube channel under all the episodes. Give the episode a like and so much more. Hope your day is going well. As I mentioned, we're here in the United States in the New York area. So we welcome everybody who's watching right now live from across the United States, Canada, Mexico, our friends who watch all across South America, as well as our friends in Europe. We say hello to everybody watching in Ireland, in Scotland, England, Wales, all throughout Europe, as well as Africa, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. We have an international audience, which is so cool. And we hear from all of you. And I think that's really, really fantastic. We're celebrating the Irish today, in this case, some Scottish in there too, as it's Masters and Masterson joining you. I'm Jim Masters, and our very special guest, the multi-talented, award-winning Irish soprano, Deidre Masterson, is joining us live and direct from Wexford, Ireland. Yes. She is extraordinary at what she does. She's going to sing live for us as well. And we also have a bunch of other incredible things that we're going to share with you. This is her first time stopping by the Jim Masters Show live series, and she's so excited. We're excited to have her too. Again, this is the beginning of St. Patrick's Week, so we're celebrating the Irish as well. I'm Irish, of course, as you know. My father's mother's side, they all came over from Ireland and settled in New York City. And Masters and Masterson, have that sort of Irish, Scottish, English sort of flavor, which is really, really cool. Wherever you're watching from, let us know where you're watching from too. Post in the comments where you're watching, because we know we have folks watching throughout the world, and it's always nice to hear where you're watching from. Busy day for Deidre. She just did coaching. She's a vocal coach as well, and she's also affiliated with the university. We're going to tell you about all that in just a second. So she's had a very busy day since like 9 a.m. in the morning. For her, it's 8 p.m. where she is right now. It's 3 p.m. where we are. And I just literally got out of the television studio with an all-day television shoot. And then we have the show here right now for you. Then we've got another show later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern with Joel Thurm, the legendary Hollywood casting director. So a busy day here at Levity Hall. And again, I hope you're having a good day. If not, well, stick with us. We always put a smile on your face, and we always have a grand time. Lots of comments coming in here to Levity Hall. Thanks, gang. We love that. And we'll check some of those as well. And kick back and enjoy an awesome show that's coming up in store for all of you around the world. And thanks so much for joining us. My special guest, Deidre Masterson, currently acts as Performing Arts Dean for Irish American University and Director of the Irish College of Music Theatre, leading the introduction of music theater into the Irish institution's suite of educational offerings. Ms. Masterson has an extensive background in performance, opera, operetta, recital, concert, and recordings to critical Acclaim. A native of Gorey, County Wexford, Deirdre started her music studies at a young age in the Wexford School of Music under the direction of Alan Cutts. She made her Wexford International Opera Festival debut at the tender age of 12, playing the part of Spirit. Incredible. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it really is absolutely amazing. In Purcell as Dido and Aeneas, and Deirdre received a full scholarship to study opera and drama at third level with Dr. Veronica Dunne and graduated from DIT with an MMus. And she also made her professional operatic debut with Opera Ireland at 18, playing the parts of Sandman and Dewfairy in Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel. She also has many awards and accolades to her credit, including the title of being the youngest singer ever to win the Gervase Elwes Award. Isn't that amazing? In Dublin, and winning a scholarship to study with a renowned Wagnarian soprano, Astrid Varnay, in Munich. Deirdre also is a seasoned concert artist, performing from the National Concert Hall all the way to Carnegie Hall in New York City to critical acclaim. A founding member of the Irish Sopranos, Deirdre has performed to sell-out tours on both sides of the Atlantic of the last decade and enjoyed chart success with both their album releases, A Time for Us and Believe. Deirdre is also a featured artist on many recordings, including Faith of Our Fathers, Who Fears to Speak, and her own album entitled My Song. Again, she's really amazing, and she's a class act on so many levels. She's going to perform for us here on the show exclusively on the Jim Masters Show live series, so we're so honored by that. And, you know, we've had so many Irish artists on our show. Phil Coulter's been here, Sir James Galway, all of Celtic Woman, Celtic Thunder, Foster and Allen. I mean, you name it. The High Kings, they've all come through here, which is really beautiful. Recently, Deirdre featured on American College Dublin's single release of Phil Coulter's Scorn Not His Simplicity, reaching #1 in the Irish iTunes charts, where all proceeds were donated to Down Syndrome Field of Dreams project, which is very beautiful. In 2011, Deirdre formed the Irish College of Music Theatre, Ireland's first musical theatre college, providing fully accredited third-level courses in business partnership with Dublin Institute of Technology. The Irish College of Music Theatre currently boasts operating successful branches at the National Opera House and hometown Gorey County, Wexford, nurturing young talent wishing to audition for the profession and or progress onto third-level performing arts programs. Further developments include the delivery of the Young Artist Program in association with the National Opera House, which is a specially designed course for aspiring young Irish classical singers wishing to embark on an international operatic career. This chosen cohort will officially be presented at Wexford's International Opera Festival Fringe event and has been. Deirdre is also very passionate about her vocal rehabilitation work, collaborating with ENT surgeon Mark Rafferty and speech and language therapist Dr. Ciaran Kenny. And I think that's incredible, promoting the well-being of vocal health care. Deirdre is also a regular guest speaker and tutor, visiting institutions, including Trinity College Dublin, in a very, very beautiful way. She enjoys performing in operas, concerts, recitals outside of her academic commitments. Yeah, we're so excited to have her here on the show, and we've got a lot of cool things to show you. First, let me show you a little snippet of some of her extraordinary work. As I mentioned, she's going to sing live for us as well, but here's a little snippet of some of her work recently from her live performances. Good to have you with us, everybody. I'm Jim Masters. This is the Jim Masters Show live series, and Deidre Masterson is our special guest. And here she is, coming to us live from Ireland, Wexford, Ireland, the incomparable Deirdre Masterson. Welcome to the show, Deirdre.
Hello, Jim. Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's so nice to have you here as well, my friend. And nice little intro there, huh?
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. It's always difficult for an artist to look at themselves. That's all I'll say.
I can say that, right? And we've got Masters and Masterson joining us here from the United States and Ireland across the big pond, sort of celebrating, especially on the edge of St. Patrick's Week. Very busy week ahead, huh?
Absolutely. It's I think this is the week that everybody wants to be Irish or appreciates being Irish in particular. I think it's an excuse maybe to have a drink. I think that's really the thing there.
Right, exactly. Sláinte to one and all. You've had a very
Yeah.
busy day today, right? You were doing some
Yeah.
vocal coaching and things of that nature early or in the day, and that's something that you've done for quite some time, right?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's something that's very close to my heart, besides obviously the singing, but I do feel as passionate about teaching and rehabilitation as I do about live performance and development. So on a Saturday, I work down in our National Opera House in Wexford, and I work with young aspiring artists. And then in my hometown in the afternoon, I work with even smaller young artists. And do you know what, Jim? Even in a week when you've had a busy week and it comes to Saturday morning, and when I wake up and the alarm goes off, I sometimes feel, oh gosh, I'm tired. I think I'd love a lie-in. But then, but then I go in and I see all these little faces and their enthusiasm and their talent, and somehow energy creates energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
You
sure
know.
does.
So,
Absolutely. What's the age range of the ones that you coach?
yes, yeah. So in the National Opera House, they're aged between 13 and 22, and then in our afternoon classes, then they are aged 6 to 12.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. So I really need to ensure I'm energized for that afternoon session because there's a lot of energy in the room in the afternoon.
And do they all want to be stars, or is it they just want to learn the craft and they're having fun?
It's a mixture, and certainly at that age, the young artist program, I think they will have trained, at a younger age and feel that this is something they want to niche in and perhaps develop that little bit more. So I think the young artist program we offer in the National Opera House, they're definitely, extremely talented young students with a wish and a want to pursue it further at third level. The students that I have in the afternoon, the younger group, of course, I'm going to be biased and say they're all super talented.
Yeah.
But the emphasis is more about encouraging confidence, encouraging to learn the tools, social activities, and let them dip their feet in and see that it is accessible.
Exactly. How did
Yeah.
you begin? How did you get started? What inspired you early on to want to become a vocalist, a fabulous
Gosh.
performer?
Well, if you were speaking to my mum on the couch, she'd probably say that I sang before I talked, literally. And and she would have said, or does say rather, that when I was young, to keep me quiet while she'd do some chores in the house, she would put on some of those old Deanna Durbin movies, and I would become mesmerized by this soprano. So that's how that came about. I come from a traditional Irish background, so my dad's side of the family are all Irish traditional musicians and singers. So I grew up in a household that was full of music, and it was just second nature that we would have sessions, and thoroughly enjoyed that. At the age of 12, I sang at my confirmation, and I recall the priest and the bishop having strong words with my parents saying, are you getting this girl's voice trained? And my parents said, well, no, but she loves what she's doing. Do we need to train it? And they set up an audition, or encouraged to set up the audition in the Wexford School of Music at the time. I went for an audition there, not knowing what to expect. The man at the time, who's since passed, Lord rest him, Alan Cutts, was quite an eccentric gentleman from London, and he brought me in, he auditioned me, and then he said in the same audition, we're going to take a little walk down now from the School of Music to the Wexford Theatre, which is maybe a 5-minute walk. So I thought it was part of the second audition to get into the school. So he brought me down, and the piece he had just taught me, he said, now, can you sing this now for this other lady? So I said, okay, fine. So I sang. It was Porgy Amor. It could have been Blah Blah Black Sheep at the time, from what I knew it was, from the Marriage of Figaro.
I haven't heard that one in years, Baba Black Sheep.
And this lady turned out to be the artistic director of the then International Wexford Opera Festival and Covent Garden. And I was auditioning not just to get into the school, but to get into the Wexford Festival as well. And that's where I got my part then at 12, at the part playing the spirit in Dido and Aeneas. So yeah, so that's probably a long-winded version of how did you start, but there you go.
So who are some of the folks, you mentioned Dinah Durbin for your mother,
Yeah.
who are some of the folks that you also were inspired by, other vocalists, other singers, whether they're opera or any genre of music?
Well, do you know something? I love all genres, and I'm glad that I do. Do you know, I think if there's a good melody and strong lyrics that I can connect to, I think that's where my heart, is happiest. But like when I was growing up, I mean, I loved Whitney Houston. I loved Barbra Streisand. Yeah, and you'll see behind me here is the diva herself, Maria Callas, and I think I fell in love with not so much just even her voice, but I think it was the passion that she sang with that I felt a connection for the first time in something operatic. I felt that she really transferred the lyrics and the drama and the passion way that I could connect to. And that's what made me feel this is what I want to do. And in actual fact, when I did that first opera festival, there was this Romanian soprano singing in the opera that I was singing in the chorus in. And we had been working as a chorus separate to the soloists. So it came to what's called the Sitzprobe, where you get to sing with the orchestra for the first time, with the full ensemble. And this soprano opened her mouth and just tears started rolling down my face. And that was the moment when I thought, that's what I want to do. That's my calling. And I hadn't been exposed to opera before. I didn't understand it. I knew I adored music and every types of music, but that woman's voice, the human voice, the way she sang with such passion and with the orchestra and the chorus had such strong effect on me that was it. I came home to my mum and dad and I said, that's it. I want to be an opera singer.
And what did they say? What was the response from the parents?
God love them. They didn't know what to do with me because, my dad's a cattle dealer. I live in the country. We'd grown up with Irish traditional music and instruments. So, they hadn't a clue what to do with me or where to go with me. But Alan Cutts at the time in the Wexford School of Music was wonderful in the way that he assisted in developing and nurturing. And he came to my parents when I turned 16 and he said, she needs to go on to the next level now. I've done what I can with her. And I think that was such an honourable thing for a teacher to be able to say, I've passed on my knowledge. It's time to go on elsewhere. And that's when I went to the renowned Dr. Veronica Dunne in Dublin and spent 4 years there before I travelled abroad.
Any instruments? Did you take any instruments along the way too?
Yeah. Piano would be my instrument. Yeah, I mean, I used to play guitar in sessions. I can't remember the last time I took one up, so I don't know whether it qualifies. I can still play that or not. But piano, yes, and obviously for my teaching, I would play the piano a lot too.
Because everybody who's come through here as a guest, and even in my professional work from coming from Ireland, they're all like, Jim, and we have family there too, but Jim, when you come from Ireland, maybe Scotland as well, they hand you an instrument practically at birth, either a fiddle, the fiddle, violin, the penny whistle, flute,
Yeah,
guitar, or
yeah,
something, or the singing is what's going to happen. So
yeah.
is that what happened first for you earlier? You had the exposure to that early?
I think so. Yeah. Well, as I said, my dad played the accordion, and my auntie Beth was an All Ireland traditional Irish singer, and my uncle Eugene was an All Ireland traditional accordion player as well. So there was I think I asked for a keyboard in my grand's house. There was an old piano that was badly out of tune. I don't even know if all the notes were working on it,
Yeah.
but I remember asking my parents, definitely for a birthday or Christmas, quite young, maybe 5 or 6. I said, "Can I have one of them?" And they got me one, and I just started playing by ear. So I was playing by ear for years, and then once I started going to the School of Music, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to learn to read music now, not just for my voice. So I started doing grades then with the piano, and then I did piano at 3rd level then as well.
That's fantastic, huh?
Yeah, but it's good. But I still love doing sessions and ad-libbing, because that's the wonderful thing about the Irish traditional music. It's
Yeah.
that, you can walk into a room and people have never met one another, and somebody will start playing a tune, and everybody's able to improv and join in as if you've been rehearsing it for years together. I love
Isn't that
that.
amazing?
Yeah,
Yes, those sessions are incredible. It's like a
yeah,
jam session where they're all
yeah,
coming together and picking up instruments and
yeah.
singing. And it's just, it goes and goes and goes.
Mm.
And there's something very authentic and real and lively and fun about those too, right? Very
Oh,
bonding.
Oh, it's lovely, and you don't know where it's going to take you, but you know it's going to be a lovely musical journey, and you inevitably learn from you learn a new tune, you learn from others how they improv, how they turn a melody, and it's lovely. It's a lovely universal way of connecting with one another too.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. So as things were going along for you, you were studying and you were sort of getting focused on what you needed and wanted to do. Um, what were some of the things that really you think launched the career for you? Some of those things where that opportunity that happened was really sort of the icebreaker, the door opener for your career, where people started really noticing how terrific Deirdre is, her voice, her poise, her presentation, her experience. What were some of those moments that were very important and pivotal in your career as your career was starting to accelerate?
That's an interesting question. I think that first audition in meeting that lady, Elaine Padmore, was kind of poignant, because 5 years later, I was at what's called an open audition for opera, and she was on the panel. And that opened doors then for my working in some opera companies. And at the time, Dublin Grand Opera Society, I got cast there for an internship for 4 years, and I learned lots of roles within those 4 years. At the same time, I won the Gervase Elwes, which is we've a Feis Ceoil competition here in Ireland. And for want of a better word, it's sort of the national classical singing competitions. And I won the overall award for that, and I still hold the title of being the youngest to win that. From that, then I sort of went to Munich and represented Ireland in competition, and I got accepted on that then when I was 17, 18. And I studied in Munich with this renowned Wagnarian soprano, Astrid Varnay. And from there became other contacts. Yeah, so there was lots of things happening, and then I was doing lots of TV, and I was getting picked up for recordings and television.
How'd you like that?
It like everything, it was daunting, but I remember doing my very first live TV, Jim. It was the Late Late Show, and it was the
Oh,
Christmas special,
is that on
and
RTE?
that's right, and it was the
Yeah.
Late Gay Burn at the time, and
Yeah.
I was doing, I think I was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow is what they'd chosen. And you know, when they give you your cue, it was the ads, and I was on after the ads, and it was kind of 10, 9, they were counting down. And I remember thinking, is it too late to run to the toilet or say I don't want to do it anymore? It was just terrifying.
Yeah, right. Could we, before we go, they're like 3, 2, 1, live. Here we
Yeah,
are, Deirdre
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Masterson.
Yeah, yeah. And you just like, it's like, you know, I remember being, I don't know, was I 13, 14 at the time. And I remember thinking at that split second, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. So it
It's
was
great
what,
training, great background,
oh,
isn't it? To be, and the
yeah,
exposure,
yeah,
obviously, on television
yeah.
is tremendous.
No, it is. And it was great. It was fantastic training. And I got some phenomenal opportunities when I was young, because a lot of the opportunities came from, say, kind of the age of 13 to 21. My voice was quite advanced and mature for its age. So I sounded older than I was. And yeah, so I was very lucky. I was very lucky to get these opportunities. Um, and then at 21, um, I had a tonsillectomy that didn't go so well,
Mm.
which then meant that I couldn't sing for a certain amount of years until the voice had recovered and rehabilitated. And that's where my graw, my love and understanding and commitment to my rehab came into play.
When you realized how close it was to a point where you could lose that
Mhm.
beautiful
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
forever, as we've
yeah.
seen, like with the incomparable Julie Andrews, who went
Yeah,
in for the nodule
that's right.
removal that didn't necessarily go so well, and it
Mm,
affected her voice as far as reaching, the higher
that's right.
octaves, and
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you were counting your blessings at that
I was
point,
very,
huh?
yeah, no, I was lucky. I mean, thankfully nothing was wrong with the vocal folds or the cords, but the whole apparatus from having the tonsillectomy that didn't go so well required time out from singing. And it was right at the time when I was at my pinnacle of, well, it seemed to be at the time of my career. So I had to take time out. And then I went over to the UK and did rehabilitation over there and studied in Cardiff for some time, in London. And then at that time, with lots of reflection and study, I thought, do you know what? Do I want to explore different types of music before I enter back into opera? Because it looked like my voice was going to be more of what we call a dramatic soprano. And this takes longer to develop. And I was
Yeah.
quite young. And I thought I might be a bit young, you know, early 20s going into the heavy duty stuff. And because of my background, I loved the Irish music and I love crossover music. And that's when I formed the Irish Sopranos with my two gorgeous girlies, Kay and Wendy. And we had the best time ever. It was a decade of traveling the world and having such a lovely time with two besties and singing together and exploring the world and having success together. I remember when we landed in New York first, we actually did feel like we were like a part of a Sex and the City episode. It felt like, you know,
Yes,
we
did you
we
get the
just
fancy
arrived.
pocketbooks and
Oh, we looked
the
at,
the
we did.
tall
We
shoes and
Oh,
the hair, and
completely, you know. And one day we take on a persona of one of the characters. You know, we loved it, and
we
remember
had a
doing.
woman on actually who was one of the designers for um she designed that very famous pocketbook. She's out in Beverly Hills, California.
Yeah,
She designed the very popular um, pocketbook that I believe Sarah Jessica Parker had always with her in Sex and the City, the series. And
yeah.
that's the one that's shaped like the Eiffel Tower. Have you
Oh,
ever seen that pocketbook?
yeah,
It
yeah,
looks like an Eiffel
yeah,
Tower. So the woman
yeah.
that designed that and many other things was a guest on our show recently. And she was just talking about, that whole
Amazing.
vibe. So you were
Oh, we
Masterson was
literally
taking over the Big Apple.
we you know, we went over, we did a showcase in the Hilton, and we got signed for a 30-day tour straight away. And within 9 months, we were doing our first Carnegie Hall as guest artist to Ronan
Oh,
Tynan.
cool. To Ronan, yes. I
Yeah,
interviewed him on PBS.
yeah,
Great
great.
guy,
Yeah,
terrific voice. And so you were tied in with Ronan.
yeah.
I've had the honor of being on stage at Carnegie Hall as master of ceremony for several major shows, Christmas shows, all kinds of things. There's just something about when you do step out on stage, when they open those big white doors and then the orchestra, what have you, is there, and then you come out and you look up at the balcony and everybody's all dressed, and it's just absolutely. Well, how do you describe what that was like for you the first time stepping out on stage at the iconic Carnegie Hall in New York? Speechless? I think. Oh, there you go. That was actually, if you had planned that, that was perfect, because what I said was, I said, when you're walking out on stage, Wi-Fi could be crazy. When you're and as you know, you just roll with it, right? As things
Yeah,
happen, when you're
yeah,
live, we're
yeah, yeah.
pros. Masterson, we know what we're doing.
Eminem.
You just roll with it. M&M Productions. When you come out on stage and they open up those big white doors, you're in the back with everybody, and then the doors open and you come out, and then the spotlight's on you and the orchestra's there and everybody. That I had asked you before it sort of paused there. I said, what was that feeling like when you first stepped out on Carnegie Hall's stage in New York City? And your picture froze. So I said, I guess it was speechless. It was perfect. Yeah, it's like it took her breath away. Literally, she had nothing to say. She just sang. But it must have been really special, huh?
Oh, it is. I think you definitely feel you're on hallowed ground. And particularly backstage, and you see all these iconic portraits of stars and wonderful stars that you revere and look up to. And you get a real sense of, my goodness, they've walked these steps, they've created music and created magic in this phenomenal, iconic venue. And it does have an energy. I think that's the word. It has an energy. And in that first performance that we did, the girls and I weren't expecting this part, and it kind of caught our breath away a little bit. They played our national anthem, and the Irish flag went up when we went out to sing our first song. And we weren't fully aware, because it hadn't happened in the dress rehearsal. And Jim Malloy Productions, who brought that wonderful show over, wonderful Irish man and promoter, and I'll never forget that. And I think we had most of Ireland over for that performance. I think we had a good plane 747 over with us anyway. And so we went out, and the first thing we saw was, we could see our families and friends in the auditorium, and then the Irish flag went up, and then the national anthem played. And it literally took my breath away. And then I thought, oh gosh, now I have to sing. Oh, how
Now
am I
you
going to
have
sing?
to
I
sing,
don't
right?
know how am
You
I going
thought
to
the lifting of the flag and the family there,
sing.
that okay, I'm good. But no,
Hey,
now it's time to
now
sing,
it's time
right?
to sing. Yeah, yeah. So that was very, very special. Yeah.
And do you recall what it was you guys sang?
Yes, I do. It was, the first piece was I Believe.
It
You know
was,
the
I
one, I
believe.
believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. That one. So that was the first line. I remember thinking, don't cry, don't choke up, keep it poised.
Right, because
Yeah.
sometimes the songs can be very emotional, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And the event, it was gorgeous. It was one of those momentous occasions, you know. And I should actually point out, when you were asking me about career and stuff, when I turned 16 and I'd won some competitions in the Feis, I met Ronan Tynan at a concert where prize winners were singing together. Ronan had won the John McCormack Cup at the time, and we were put together to sing at this concert. We met for the first time, and he was the instigator of my going on to study with Dr. Veronica Dunne. We
Wow.
became such good friends, and we're still very, very good friends. Yeah.
Yes, I'd love to get him on the show. He's, I think, the only one who, of all these different iterations of groups and individuals,
Yeah,
who hasn't come in yet. So we have got to reach out to him and
we'll have to
invite him.
twist his arm, Jim. Eminem will have to twist his arm.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Hey, get on. He interviewed on PBS, and get on
Yeah.
the Jim Master show. That would be great. So, what is a typical day like for you? And obviously, the last couple of years, it's been a little strange with everything going on. I know that you had all the lockdowns and everything there in Ireland, where even some of the guests who stopped by our show, there was one particular group, one of the bands, the Irish bands, Celtic rock bands, they really had to figure out a way because they couldn't leave their houses. Uh, Certain kilometers you couldn't leave, but yet this person was here, this person was in this town, this person was in Northern Ireland, but the studio was here, and none of them could get to their studio.
No, that's correct. That's correct. I mean, in that initial lockdown, it was what was called full lockdown, and you couldn't go outside 5 kilometers of
Five
where you
kilometers.
lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that made it impossible then. Do you know what I mean? You were everybody was out of one another's jurisdiction, as it were, do you know? Uh,
Yeah.
so that's where I guess we created this whole, I suppose, remote connection and creating different possibilities and opportunities. It was a blessing in the absence of nothing else. But I think you would argue as well, Jim, there's nothing beats live and personal and interact.
Together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think we appreciate that all the more because of COVID, correct?
Yes, on many, many levels. Yeah. And there's been a lot of things that have changed. There's movie theaters that have closed and restaurants that are not coming back, some of them. And
Hmm.
so, but that's now,
Yes.
as far as venues and performances and things of that nature, that's coming back. Have you been able to uh, sort of resurrect that and come back with
Yeah.
performances yourself as well, Deirdre?
Yes, I started back say October 12 months ago was when we were permitted. That's when things started reopening back here. So we had up to 2 years, nearly 18 months, up between 18 months and 2 years, where we couldn't perform because the theatres were ordered
Closed.
to close. Yeah. And it was really tricky, Jim, for something that you do as a reflex that is part of your DNA,
Yeah.
to not have that, it was very difficult. And the first performance I did back was actually part of the opera festival, and I was doing a concert, and I was as nervous for that concert as I can remember, back when I started. And there was this bizarre feeling of, can I still do it? I'm out of practice for this. And it's a
Right.
different type of practice or muscle work for live performance. Yes, I was practicing at home here. I had lots of time to practice because of lockdown, but it's a different energy and practice for practicing in your own front room versus
Mm.
for a live audience and interacting, and it's a different energy. um, so I was a little apprehensive, and I was apprehensive going back into the recording studio for the first time as well. And it took, if I'm being honest, it took about 6 months of getting back into it before I would hand on heart say, yeah, I feel I'm back where I was. But it did make us all feel that little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, on many different levels, right? So you were
Mhm.
able to practice and sort of bring it back, right? You were able to practice and sort of bring the voice back.
Hmm. Yeah, I was. I mean, I started recording a new album once the restrictions lifted, and that was the start then as well of getting back into practice and getting back into recording. And then with the album coming out, there was kind of plans made then for the 12 months afterwards for touring both at home and abroad. So once there was a focus and a in place again, then you could kind of get back into what was a proper regime, you know. But without that, it kind of felt like there was no purpose,
Yeah.
because you didn't want to be just singing arias to yourself or my lovely pets here, you know. You know, the dog often howls back at me, but I don't know whether
Hound's
that's
back,
because
right?
I'm noisy or they're
I'm nothing but a hound dog,
yeah, yeah,
crying
yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, oh, stop.
Oh, it starts
Yeah,
making this howling sounds. Now,
yeah.
in addition, and we'll talk more about, your incredible vocal prowess and
Mm.
being a phenomenal singer on so many different levels. You also currently act as performing arts dean for Irish American University, and you are director of the Irish College of Music Theatre, leading the introduction of music into the Irish institution's suite of educational offerings. Tell us about when that started to happen and the importance of that in your musical journey as well, Deirdre.
Sure, yeah, very happy to. So I've said how important, I suppose, education and training has been for me. Um, Back in my time when I was studying in Ireland, once you got to a certain level, you had no option but to, I suppose, leave Ireland if you wanted to have the option of working internationally at a professional level. So felt I felt sad that you'd no option if you wanted to aspire to that level, that you'd no option but to emigrate. So I had to leave home and move to Germany and live in the UK and travel to work in the US and train there as well. So I did feel very strongly about having the similar options at home in Ireland for students, so that if they didn't want to emigrate, and certainly at 17 and 18, it's one thing leaving home and maybe going to the capital city within your country, but it's a whole other ballgame to actually leave the country, different culture and whole other level of costs involved as well. So this was the stimulus for my wanting to try and see, could we create something in Ireland for those that didn't want to emigrate for further training on this level. So I'd always kind of taught, and back in Ireland at the time, where musical theatre in particular was concerned, there was fabulous third level classical programs and operatic programs. But I noted when I was teaching some of my younger students, they'd get to a certain level in musical theatre and then the qualifications would stop. So parents would come to me and they get to maybe grade 8 and say, okay, so now can they go on and do a diploma or a degree in their conservatory training in musical theatre? And I said, well, I'm not sure, but I'll check for you. And when I checked, there wasn't. So I went looking into this. I spoke with the government and I went over to chat with some of the colleges in the UK. And yeah, it became apparent that there weren't these qualifications in Ireland. Um, if I'm being 100% honest, Jim, I didn't set out to set up a musical theatre college. I kind of ended up being the person to get the information. And then suddenly this opportunity was on my desk to seek accreditation for musical theatre third level, or not, as the case may be. So I sought to get accreditation, and then by doing that, we had to officially set up a musical theatre college. So that was the Irish College of Music Theatre. And then it was the best validation process was to partner with an already well-established institution. So at the time we spoke with lots of different institutions in Ireland, and the one that had the best fit at the time was DIT, which is now TU in Dublin. So we started off with level 6 and level 7 programs. It was a phenomenal success, and we were inundated with wonderful, talented students want to do this in Ireland. And then we went to look at going degree and master's level, and I found our university that I work with now, American College Dublin, and they obviously have Middle States and Higher Education accreditation, which accredits such institutions like Juilliard and Princeton and Curtis. And that has an international accreditation status, and particularly for musical theatre, because with Ireland not having it prior to myself, we didn't have a long-standing international accreditation, I suppose, stamp. So in seeking this, that's when the fit came with American College Dublin, and we worked together for a couple of years, and we got the degree and the master's program up and running, and now I am the dean of that particular institution. And we have a sister college in Bulgaria, and we also collaborate with a college in Florida, Lynn University.
Florida, USA.
Florida, USA.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah. So
do you ever get to come over to go there?
Yeah, I'm there regularly. Well, obviously with lockdown, not as much, but I was there in November.
Is that you I saw over the Christmas holiday on the surfboard in Florida? Was that you in the ocean on the surfboard? I thought so. Yeah, you were singing Surfing USA. There's a lot of Irish artists who loved, or Irish people. They love Florida. They love the coast, and they love to surf. I know we've had the Byrne brothers on, the young groups. I think they're from Donegal, and they all moved to Florida, and they were on. The brothers and the parents were on our show, and they're in Florida, and they're always like surfing and in the ocean. Keith Harkin, I believe, loves to surf, and all that. Everybody likes to do the ocean here in America.
I'm not surprised. And I mean, because our climate is quite wet. We enjoy going to more warmer climates.
A little bit. It's a little bit nippy.
Oh, you wouldn't be surfing down around Wexford now, let me tell you that.
I forget the guest. She was just on a couple of days ago. She swam across the English Channel.
Oh my gosh.
And right, because that's rough and cold, and you got the shipping, cargo ships, and can you imagine swimming across the English Channel?
No, I can't. And fair play to her, but fair play.
I love that expression. Explain what that means to everybody outside of Ireland when you say fair play. Like, is it like good on you, or that's
good on you? Yeah,
congratulations.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or brilliant. I like that. Fair play. That's fair play.
Yeah.
So what do you say when they're not playing fair? That's not fair play.
No, there's probably words or phrases we can't say.
That we can't say necessarily during the children's hour, right?
No. There'd be whole other levels of
right. We told you we were going to have Irish crack on this show. We always do. I say this often. It's funny. When I first started saying that, when some of the guests that have come through from Ireland and elsewhere, even Irish that have come through here in America, Irish that have been performers, I think the Rumjacks, people have come through Australia as well, because there's a big Irish contingent in Australia too. And I kept saying, we're having a lot of Irish crack on the Jim Masters show series. And a couple of people asked, here they were saying in the States, what? Irish? You're doing Irish crack on your show? Like, wait, no. Laughter, comedy, levity, not different spellings, CRAIC. We're not.
I know. I remember when the Irish Sopranos and I were touring the States first, and we'd be doing our little introductions before our songs and sets, and sometimes we say, and now we're going to have lots of craic agus ceoil, which for us means fun and music, and immediately we get from the audience, they're like, what did we say?
And then they stood up and they gave you an ovation before you even sang.
So we learned not to say that in certain
circles, right? It's you have to explain it. We have, and yes, some people are asking who are just joining us. if she's going to sing. Yep, she's all poised and she's going to sing live for us as well. But we do have a wonderful version here of Danny Boy. Now, if you joined us late, this entire episode, you'll be able to see it on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. It's fully archived. We welcome everybody that's watching live right now from around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live, entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. My illustrious guest with her great sense of humor is Deidre Masterson, coming to us live from Gorey County, Wexford, Ireland. And she's a brilliant, award-winning, very revered and internationally acclaimed Irish soprano with Scottish in her too. I know. She said just the whole UK, Ireland, she's everything. And we have, of course, as we know, one of the traditional songs, beloved songs, is the very emotional and moving Danny Boy. And she's going to sing live for us, but we do have a clip where she's in her beautiful, elegant gown and the hair is up and she's got the, the piano there. And where was that performed?
That was actually, that's one of the most recent ones. That was just taken in St. Anne's Church in Dublin on Dawson Street. So we had a concert there just before Christmas with the Celtic Tenors as my guest artists.
Celtic Tenors, yes. We just had Daryl Simpson was just on the show around holiday time, Christmas.
Lovely.
And the other lads, I had interviewed both of them here in America on PBS when I believe it was Celtic Tenors, but it was Daryl hadn't been with them yet.
That's right. So it would be Niall, James, and Matthew.
Yes, right. And I hope to welcome all three of them back. But Daryl came on and he was terrific. Actually, one, I think, got stuck in the airport. One had a performance and the other one got stuck at the airport on the runway. And he was texting Daryl as Daryl was a guest on the show saying, I don't know if I'm going to make it because we're still sitting here in the plane in Dublin and the weather was bad and everything. So, he had some delays.
There's a surprise, Jim. The weather was bad. There's a surprise.
Well, I had asked viewers, JMS Levities, I had asked Deirdre, what's the weather like there right now in Wexford, Ireland? And she said, oh, it's just a light mist. Now, I'm not going to let you know if that's what she really said or not. That's our little secret between M&M, Masters and Masterson. Maybe she said those words, or maybe she said something a little bit different.
A little bit more colorful.
Yes, right, exactly. It might rhyme with that's a wrap. It might.
But we're not saying.
But we will not say. That is our little secret. You'll have to pay us lots of money to drag it out of us. Or for me, I'm easy. Just make me a big bowl of mashed potatoes and I am good. The Irish in me loves those mashed potatoes. Then you give me mashed potatoes, I'm an instant sellout.
No, it's the Celtiness. Is that it, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. So, hey, how do you say, I'll spell the word, and I just want to hear how you say it. The word is F-I-L-M.
Film.
Film.
Yeah.
Now, so many, including my father, has always said, you've heard this, I'm sure. Film.
Yeah.
Film.
Yeah. Well, my mum would have corrected us.
If you said film.
When we were young, and she said, it's not a film. There's no extra I in there. It's film.
Well, that's what I always said as a kid to my father. I said, because he would hear it from his mother and grandmother who came over from Ireland and they settled in New York. So he heard film and would say film, going to put some film in the camera. I'm saying, film, Dad, what's film? You mean, like you said, film. So, you know what happened? You mentioned Ronan Tynan, and this is sort of like 1 degree of separation here. I was interviewing him when the Irish tenors were over, and he was, of course, with them. And think John McDermott and others, Finbar Wright.
All right.
Yeah, all fantastic people. And I was talking to Ronan, and the cameras were on us, and we were in the public television studio. And looking up at Ronan, Ronan is very tall, and he's talking about his life and how his career started and everything. And he's talking about picture taken, and he goes, film. And I'm looking at him like, where have I heard that before? Dad. I'm like, wait a minute. And I said, and he said, that's how in certain parts of Ireland, is that more northern, probably?
No, I wouldn't know. I don't think it's just specific to Northern Ireland. I hear it around my locality as well, so I can't let the North just take claim for that. I think most people around here would say film, except my mum told me it's film, Deirdre, not film. There we go.
Good old mom. She did it, right?
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Lily.
That's it.
Yeah.
Here's our illustrious guest, Deidre Masterson with Danny Boy. Leave a comment for us, gang, if you're enjoying this episode of the Jim Masters Show live series. Coming to you from here, the United States and the New York area. Coming to us also from across the big pond, the Atlantic Ocean, and Wexford, Ireland. Joining us here today, Deidre Masterson. Leave a comment as well. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything. And here now is Deidre Masterson with Danny Boy.
When
Do you need a
Thank you.
Kleenex tissue? Or
Oh,
I think everybody watching sure does. What a beautiful
oh,
version. Absolutely breathtaking, stunning,
oh, thank
fair play, everything. Brilliant.
you.
Really, when you're performing, what's happening to you? Are you transported, to another time and place? What's
Yeah.
happening to you as you're vocalizing? Did you get that question?
I think I got it all just recapped, and sure I have. What am I thinking, or am I transported or transcending when I'm singing? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly. What's
Okay.
happening to you, and are you transported to another place, or are you
Yeah.
speechless?
No. Not on this occasion. Yeah, I think music for me does send me to a different place. And the Danny Boy, what's very interesting is every time I perform Danny Boy, particularly across the Atlantic, I almost got a different sense of patriotism, representing my country. It's
Oh,
almost like the
yes.
unspoken national anthem, I feel. And
Yeah.
particularly in the States, there are so many Irish immigrants, and, you know, a bigger Irish family in America.
Yeah.
And I feel it's almost like our communal song.
Yes.
And
When
it's what we
people hear it,
gravitate towards.
it's probably
I,
the
I
number
really do
one
feel that.
request is always, if it's not Danny Boy, then it's When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
It's not.
Usually those
Yeah.
two are the big, but Danny Boy is always the one. They play that sometimes if, well, like with the 9/11, for
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
firefighters and the police
Of
that
course.
passed, that will be played often as well. It just evokes something very special. It's
Mm.
another beautiful
Yeah.
song. Um, you have worked with the incomparable Phil Coulter, and Phil was a
Yeah.
guest on our show. And he's just
Mm.
extraordinary. We talked about his whole career. And if anybody missed the episode when Phil Coulter was on our show, or Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway were on the show, Phil was at his home and in Ireland, where Sir James Galway and his wife, Lady Jean, they were in Switzerland at their home in Switzerland, which was really absolutely breathtaking. But the song that is also beautiful that Phil Coulter penned is The Old Man. That's a beautiful one, too. Did you freeze a little bit there? There she is.
I blame it on that weather that we were talking about. The
You
list
have
is
some
getting
rough
bigger.
weather
That's all
that's
I'll say.
coming through there. That's exactly it. She's not on a cruise ship or anything, folks. She's got rough weather happening in
Oh,
Wexford. I was mentioning there's Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway when they were on our show. They were here on the show from their house, their home in Switzerland. Phil was on, and he was at his beautiful home with all of the gold records, and he played the piano.
okay.
Another very
Yeah.
touching song, like Danny Boy, that Phil Coulter penned, which he actually sang on our show. So if anybody missed these episodes, you can see it on our YouTube channel archive. The Old Man
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
that's
Yeah.
just, if you've
Yeah.
never heard The
Oh,
Old Man,
yeah.
that's such a touching. Phil has a masterful way of capturing the heart
Oh,
and soul,
definitely.
doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Even that one line, and I miss him, the old
The Old
man. It's the
Man.
simplicity of it, isn't it? Of the
Yes.
melody and the text just cuts right through to the heart.
The very first time I heard it performed was by John McDermott, and
Okay.
it was breathtaking, and it was just really, it's just a beautiful song. If you've never heard The Old Man, folks, I would absolutely recommend you do. But like you're saying, you get transported, something happens
Mm,
to you, right? You're
yeah,
focused and you're in your zone.
yeah, that's exactly it.
So when you're in the zone, I would imagine too that it can get quite emotional sometimes with some of the songs, right?
It can, and this is why when you're doing your own rehearsals, I sometimes, depending on the song, particularly where it's quite emotional, I have to go to where I know the point is of break point. And in my rehearsals, I have to go past the break point so that I know what my breaking down is, and then ensure that I don't go past that in the performance. I remember one of my old teachers used to say to me, Dr. Veronica Dunne, she used to say, uh, "You don't cry, make the audience cry, but you don't cry." You know.
And has that worked or here and there?
Yeah, I mean that there's certain times, isn't there? I mean, we're human, and I think it's okay to show emotion.
Yeah.
But as a professional, it's important that you don't lose your professionalism. But I do think it's imperative to show your emotion, to show your connection, because then you've an opportunity of making that connection, and it is a two-way affair. When you're performing, you are looking to connect with the audience, you're looking to
Yeah.
create energy, and that you create that little marriage together for that moment, and you feel that moment together. So I think that's important.
It's very important, exactly. And by still also getting to the heart and soul and making that connection with the audience is such an
Mm.
extraordinary thing. And matter of fact, we have some fabulous photos of you doing that. Where was this, Deirdre?
That was the National Concert Hall, actually, a couple of years ago. Yeah, just before we would have had lockdown. So, and those students there, I'm looking at their students from our degree students that were performing with me. Actually, we were doing that. That was one of Phil Coulter's songs. So
Ah,
we gave actually Phil and his lovely wife Geraldine honorary doctorates in our college, Martin College, Dublin, and we sang "Score Not His Simplicity" as a token, as part of that honorary doctorate officiation, and they were so moved by it. Phil was actually doing a concert in the National Concert Hall, and he invited me to come and sing and present it and let the audience hear the version we'd done. So we did that, and we got such a reaction from the audience that it was put to us, would we not record it? So we did, but we recorded it, and I wanted the proceeds to go to Down syndrome. So we chose what was the Field of Dreams project for Down syndrome, which is based in Cork, which is a wonderful, wonderful project.
that is so beautiful. It really is
Mm,
to give to an organization like that. Very, very
yeah.
giving. There's another great shot as well.
Goodness, you're digging them all out, Jim.
I tell you, we do our research. Absolutely.
I'm afraid to look at what's going to come up next.
We have your baby picture when you were in a bassinet, right?
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, that would be something. Now
Oh,
look at this
Lordy.
shot. This is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was last summer. Yeah, that was last summer in Dublin, with other opera singers, Ross Scanlon and Brendan Collins and Sandra Oman. And on the piano there, David Ray, who is my wonderful colleague in the college. He also is the arranger for all the orchestral arrangements on my new album, McCree. So, a dear friend and colleague.
Beautiful. Here's another great shot. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, that's an open air shot. So that's me playing Carmen for an open air performance in Dublin for Opera in the Open. So that's at the back of the Christchurch Cathedral. So there's a kind of an open amphitheatre area there,
Very
and
nice.
we traditionally do operas there during the summer. So that was me giving it a bit of Carmen and the habanera there, it looks like.
Very nice.
And that looks like a performance as well during the summer in a church concert series.
Very, very nice. That's a great shot. That's a great look too. Yes. I like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Looking all diva-esque and poised, and if butter wouldn't melt, yeah.
Riggs, can somebody get that baby to could somebody get that baby to stop crying? I'm about to sing. I'm waiting.
Don't even
Take
think about
take
it.
the baby outside, please. I'm about to begin.
Yeah, don't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And that one was in, let me think, was that October, November? That was over in Bulgaria with the Rats Symphony Orchestra. And so that was a recent one.
Very nice. Oh, what was happening here?
Oh, so I won an award, it was called a Bear Award last year for my recording. So I think I won that I brought out a release of Oh Holy Night at Christmas, and it won a Bear Award, Opera Bear Award. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And there I am with Phil.
There's Phil Coulter. Yes. And what was the occasion here?
That was the occasion we were just chatting about.
That's the one, huh?
That's the one. And so that was us when we came back off stage and we got a little photograph together with the students. Yeah.
They must have been in awe too. Like,
oh, of course we were. I mean, he's a living legend, and
yeah.
What a wonderful opportunity for the students and I to perform alongside, and Phil played that night with us as well, so it was extra special.
Here's another great shot too. This is at St. Anne's, right?
That was St. Anne's, yeah. So that was performing Oh Holy Night, yeah. Oh, that's me being all Carmen again. That's me doing a bit of cleaning there. Can you see?
Yes, you were. They finally took the baby out, and you were waving goodbye to the baby. Bye, baby. We love you, but I have songs to sing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the crying doesn't help.
No. That looks like it was down in the Opera House in Cork. Yeah.
And that's another shot. That's fantastic. Really terrific shots,
Bit of drama.
Yes. And this one, I love this one too. Just a very pleasant shot. That's really at the header of your website too.
Yeah, so that was one. It was a shot taken down in Johnstown Castle here in Wexford, and we ended up using it for a single that was released last year entitled "Dreamer" that went to #1 here in Ireland. So
congratulations on that.
Thank
yes,
you.
Tell us about the music and what's available and the singles and albums and everything.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so the album that was recently released there in October is entitled "Muchrí," which is Irish, the Irish for my heart, and it's a selection of songs, I guess, that is exactly that, songs from my heart. So it has some Irish in there. So you'll have your Danny Boy and the Carrick Fergus and the Last Rose of Summer, and then you have some opera. So you have the Habanera from Carmen and Song to the Moon, Dvorak, and then I have some Deanna Durbin in there, so her Always and Waltzing in the Clouds, and then I have some what I would call crossover. So we have a piece entitled Parla più piano, which is the theme music to the Godfather, and lovely passionate Italian words to it. And then some Morricone, his Malena, and then some of the singles, one being Jealous of the Angels and the other one Dreamer. So they were two singles that we had from the album that have been recently released, and I'm very grateful that both have had #1 hits here in Ireland with them.
Congratulations on that. That's quite exciting, huh?
It is, because as I said to you, it was a while since I'd recorded anything, and I suppose COVID was a time of reflection for us all, And I mentioned at the top of the program that my Auntie Beth was an All-Ireland traditional Irish singer. And she was somebody that I completely revered and looked up to. And we sadly lost our Auntie Beth last year. But she sort of made me promise before she passed that I would sing some more, because I think between COVID and my job descriptor with the college, I was probably being an educator more and a singer less. And she said, make sure that you keep your heart happy and your soul happy. She said, you're a singer and don't forget to don't stop singing. So I embarked on that project and the album. I went back into the studio. So I dedicated the Muchri to her. Yeah.
That's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
That is beautiful. So yeah, there we go there, folks. It's a fantastic cover too, huh?
Yeah, well, I have my partner's a photographer, Mark Ivory, so I have him to thank for the beautiful photograph, and Eamon Shanahan, who does all my artwork, is super talented guy.
Did a very nice job. Yeah, absolutely.
Did a super job. Yeah.
Yeah, they captured something beautiful there. Yes.
Yeah.
So she said don't stop singing, right? So we love her. You're gonna, to make sure that she's pleased.
Yes.
You're going to sing something for us, right?
Yeah, I am. Given that it's St. Patrick's week, and this was a song in particular that she loved as well. It's an Irish song, and it's called Carrick Fergus. And if technology stays with us, I am hoping to use my backing track here from the album, sitting on my sofa, and hopefully it will all go according to plan, Jim, and you'll hear
you never know exactly.
And I'm not going to freeze or any of those things. But we're certainly going to give it our best try anyway.
Gonna give it the fair play try.
Fair play try, absolutely. So do you want me to tee this up here for you now? Are you ready
for folks that are watching that aren't familiar with the song, give us the history of the song.
Yeah, so it's an Irish traditional song entitled Carrick Fergus, and the song itself tells a story of a gentleman who's obviously left home and looking for green pastures, and life hasn't really turned out the way he had hoped, and he's clearly going to pass away, and he's reflecting on Ireland and reflecting on, okay, it's time to put my head now down and go to sleep, and he's thinking of family and loved ones back in Ireland.
Now, you mentioned searching for green pastures. Look at the beautiful background we have now.
Oh my goodness.
Am I good or what? Are we good here at the Jim Masters Show? Are we quick?
I'm telling you. And with
we have found the green pastures.
My lovely misty waters out here in the background as well.
Right.
It's very Celtic.
If they only knew. If they only knew. That's it. It's our secret.
Mom's the word.
Here is the incomparable Deidre Masterson on the Jim Masters Show live. Deidre, it's all yours.
Okay, bear with me now.
First, she has to. The orchestra didn't show up today. They're off on Saturdays, so she has to press play. It's a whole new world.
Here we go.
Deidre Masterson.
For my love to find.
the sea is wide, and I cannot swim over, and neither have I the wings to fly. If I could find me a handsome boatman to ferry me over for my love to find. And in Kilkenny it is reported on marble stone there, as black as ink, with gold and silver, I would transport her, but I'll sing no more now, till I get a drink. Well, I'm drunk today, and I'm seldom sober, a handsome rover from town to town. But I'm sick now, my days are numbered, so come all ye young men and lay me down. Come all ye young men and lay me down.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Really gorgeous version of that song, huh?
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
That's
Thank you.
that's a traditional favorite
I
on
think
many.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think it's a well-known one. It's a popular one, and it is for a reason. It's such a beautiful melody, and again, a strong and sad, I guess, story as well.
You know, you also, I want to make mention too, you made your professional operatic debut with Opera Ireland at 18, playing the parts of Sandman and Dewfairy in Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel. Now, we're not talking about Engelbert Humperdinck's version.
No, but that's where he got his name from. Yeah,
Right, exactly. And I
yeah,
believe he was born in
yeah.
Wales. Yes, and he lives in Florida. And what was that like? I mean, that's iconic to be a part of that at such an early age, huh?
It was. It again, it was one of those extraordinary, I suppose, opportunities, and it was definitely the start. It was the start of my professional operatic career. So at 18, that was my first professional engagement as an operatic singer, and yeah, playing the part of Sandman and Dewfairy. So I can vividly remember the costume. A very unattractive one in the first half of the Sandman, where they had me looking like an umpalumpa, and
Oh,
I had this big costume, this mid costume, and little legs, and then I had a little lantern, and I came on and I put Hansel and Gretel to sleep, singing this lovely little serenade. And then the Dewfairy opens up the start of the next act, and I was up like a trapeze artist up in the gods in this little swinging chair that went back and forth, sprinkling, you know, magical dust, getting Hansel and Gretel to wake up with the Dewfairy's iconic and bubbling and vivacious aria in the second half. So, but it was gorgeous. It's such lovely memories, and you learn an awful lot of your profession on the job. I mean, I had trained and I was training. I arguably think you're still in training. The day you think you've to stop is the day to put your hat up. But you learn so much once you start getting out there onto the profession on the job. There's things you can't learn in a conservatory or in a textbook. You learn on the job. And that was definitely my learning with other professions and lighting and an orchestra and a conductor and a director and a choreographer for the first time, and making it all coordinate together and making it look like it's all done with ease.
Right, which is the key to all of it on many levels, is make it look like it's effortless and just came so naturally. But behind the scenes, there's so many hours of work and toil put in. Speaking of that, other things that you do that people might not realize, I mentioned when I was introducing you on the Jim Masters show, you are a regular guest speaker and tutor to visiting institutions, including Trinity College Dublin. And I think that's fantastic. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah, so with my rehabilitation work and working as a vocal clinician in Ireland, I get invited to speak as a guest tutor on the area of expertise, which is voice and training and rehabilitation. And Dr. Kieran Kenny in Trinity College runs the speech and language therapy section there, and I would regularly go in and give lectures. In actual fact, I think I'm back in there in April next month, so I'm looking forward to that. So yes, I give workshops and talks, and it's wonderful to be able to do that. And the experience I had in my early 20s, which at the time seemed like it was so awful and I couldn't see beyond, you know, when something gets broken for whatever reason, you don't see a way out of it and you don't understand why it's happening at the time. But it seems so much more clearer now that you're a little bit older and wiser. And now that I work in rehabilitation, I think it's important that you have experienced maybe what maybe your clients or patients or students are experiencing on the other side of the fence, and I can empathize and sympathize and offer that support as well, because I have been that person on the other side of the fence. So I think it actually enhances and helps me to be a better clinician because I've been through some of those experiences.
See, that's the best. I always say that when somebody walks the walk, talks the talk, they've been there. So when you work with those who are going through the same sort of scenario, you come from a degree of expertise, but a level of empathy and compassion that relates to them. It's very relatable because they know that this wonderful, soprano, this brilliant singer, even she too is human and she goes through things herself. And I think that makes you very relatable, and people connect with that on a deeper level, right?
I would hope so, and that's certainly the energy and persona I would love for people to pick up on, for sure. And I think, if anything, there's an unfortunate stigma attached to singers not being brave enough to maybe come forward if there is something going wrong. And what I normally say to people is that we are professional singing athletes. We don't blink an eyelid when a sports athlete gets injured. That's considered normal, but yet it's not normal for a singer to suffer an injury, and yet they're a professional singing athlete. So when it's put into that sort of perspective, it's like, well, of course, I mean, if you're singing a lot, you're going to get at some point an injury, and that's okay. But then it's ensuring that you get the right help and the right rehabilitation and the right, I suppose, program. And I suppose, it's getting the training right as well, because prevention is always a nicer place to be in rather than the cure. But this is what I would very much like to put out there, and say to people, please don't, if you have any vocal worries or concerns, don't keep them to yourself, and get the help. And there is fantastic people out there, and to make your life that little bit easier.
What are some things that's beautiful advice, Deirdre? What, and I hope folks do pay heed to it, regardless of age or experience level. What are some ways that you protect your voice, take care of your voice? I have some friends that are in opera as well in New York, and I know they don't like to go out in the cold weather because it sort of constricts and they just don't want to get a cold, but they are very protective with the voice. What are some things that you do on a maintenance level? And then are there different routines and things you do just before you're going to go into a studio and just before you're going to go on stage to protect your very important instrument, which is your voice?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that you're trying to stay healthy. Okay, so the things that the voice particularly loves is sleep, hydration, and preparatory work. So there's no point in going in and you're full of the joys of spring, but you haven't done the preparation. So it's important that you do early preparation and you build up the correct muscle work for what's required of you, and building up a realistic and achievable stamina for what the workload is required. Overworking is not good for the voice. Singers tend, singers that have good technique tend to, when they're singing, sing well with technique, but it's the other things that maybe you were highlighting there. So, extreme heat, extreme cold, eating very late at night, going out to noisy bars. It's the repeated talking that actually can create a swelling of the larynx, which is laryngitis, So it's all these preventative things. The voice likes steaming. Some of the old tips of your honey and lemon drink, all these natural sort of soothing and anti-inflammatory things. So but sleep, hydration, a good balanced diet, exercise, and regular good technical vocal technical exercise is really important.
That's important on many levels. That's fantastic. Some great tips there. Do you drink a lot of tea?
I do drink tea. I mean, I'm not going to sit here all pious and say I don't have my coffee in the morning.
Especially today, because you've been going at it since 9 a.m., right?
I did. I had a little pick-me-up coffee a couple of hours before I came on the show with you, Jim, and so far so good. It's keeping me perked up, But I think as entertainers, when it comes to nighttime, so what time is it here now? It's coming up to 20 to 10.
20 to 10, 20 to 5 here, yeah.
This is the time that for any of us that perform, we're used, it's almost like a muscle memory for being awake at this time. It's mornings we don't do so well.
The mornings.
So I don't get out of the bed and start singing Top C's anytime soon.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Not quite, right?
No, not quite. Not quite. No. I have to be up and have a coffee and go for a walk with my dogs and have a shower, and then I might start doing a little bit of vocalizing, but not before then.
That's fantastic. What are some things you're excited about that are coming up? Do you see yourself coming back over to the States to perform, visit with us here?
Yeah. I can't say just yet, but I definitely have some very exciting things in the pipeline states-wise for autumn and Christmas. So we'll let you know, Jim.
That'd be nice.
We'll let you know when we're allowed to say that. So,
and we'll have you come back, and we can do we can come back on for like a quick show, quick update. You can tell us about all of that, which is exciting, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of exciting stuff coming up, which I'm really looking forward to.
DeirdreMasterson.com is the website, folks. You can find out everything there. Is your music also on iTunes and Spotify and all the music places as well, too?
It is indeed. Yeah, it's on all the socials there. Yeah.
So how do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Ireland for those who aren't familiar with how it's, sort of acknowledged there on the Emerald Isle?
Yeah, would you know something? We were talking about the Irish Sopranos there not so long ago, and for the bones of 15 years, we were always stateside for St. Patrick's
Yes.
Day. And it had got to a point that we'd forgotten nearly what we did in Ireland, because we'd spent nearly most of our adult life celebrating it over in the States, and
Here, right.
was one of our busiest times. But this year I have a family confirmation, actually, so I'm looking forward to spending it with family. And the college is on reading week, because the college in Dublin actually is located in Merrion Square, and our home is actually the Oscar Wilde House, number 1 Merrion Square.
Really?
So yes, really. So it's located beside the government buildings and alongside Trinity. So we're the Oscar Wilde House, where Oscar Wilde grew up. So because Dublin is a hive of activity, and as you can imagine, the house is such a tourist attraction, the college organises that this coming week is reading week. So that gives us a chance to catch up on, I suppose, all the things we're supposed to be doing. And it's a long weekend, as you know. So I'm looking forward to family time next weekend. And the next couple of days I have some photo shoots and things for upcoming recordings. So I'll be busy doing things like that.
Jen Berry, who's getting her Irish on right now, I believe she's having some Jameson as she's watching, she said.
Oh.
Yeah. She goes, Masters and Masterson would be a great band name. Jim
Wouldn't
and
it?
Deidre Slancha. I like that idea. We'll grab the guitar,
That's it.
head on the road. I'll
That's
do
it.
intros and MC.
Yeah.
There you go.
There
Either a
go.
fantastic band, Masters and Masterson, or a really good law firm. Go in and see Masters and Masterson. They will straighten out all your troubles.
There we go. There we go. Well, launch it to you too, Jen. And yeah.
Yeah, they've been saying some wonderful. We tomorrow here in the States at the time of this show, it's daylight savings time. So most of us here, and I believe Canada, we change the clocks ahead the hour.
Yes.
And I think they're petitioning to eliminate that.
That's right.
And just leave it as daylight savings time. You guys put it ahead as well?
That's right. Yeah.
Merlin in Canada and Ontario, she was asking that. Do they change their clocks in Ireland?
We do. Yes.
Yeah, you do as well. So we're going to lose an hour of sleep tonight. Look at her face. She's like, okay, I think I'm going to.
I'm reaching for the Jameson.
I'm reaching for the Jameson. That'll put you out for a nice calm sleep as well. Here's the website, everybody watching around the world, DeirdreMasterson.com. Extraordinary, award-winning, acclaimed Irish soprano, really blessed by her presence, stopping by the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series from her beautiful home there in Wexford, Ireland, coming to us here in the United States and around the world. If this was your first time watching our show, gang, welcome. This is what we do. We don't call these interviews. We call these conversations with lots of levity and entertainment, and bringing our viewers in as well who comment. And Sherry Larson is here. She says, thank you, Deirdre, for being here today. I plan to check what I've missed in the archives. Please come back soon.
Oh, thank you.
Really, yes. And Merlin is here too. And thank you, Deirdre, for being here with us. You are a real treasure. I agree. Yeah. All these great comments. We appreciate everybody pouring their heart out with all these beautiful comments here. This was absolutely wonderful. Somebody that likes to pop in towards the latter part, very legendary American comedian and entertainer, Mr. George Burns is here.
Hello.
Hey, wait, have you been drinking some Jameson down there? Your tie's not straight. There you go. He's got a cigar. He's got his red handkerchief. He's always dapper and legendary. Of course, he played God in the Oh God movies.
Yeah.
My aunt collected dolls, and she had thousands of dollars of very expensive dolls in one whole room in the house in Connecticut. And this got passed down to me. So he pops on every once in a while to greet everybody, greet all the viewers, greet the guests, and he sends his lovity to you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Receiving the lovity and sending it back.
From George Burns himself, huh? You can't go wrong. Not with him on your side.
No.
This was really amazing. And truly, I'm so glad that you were able to pop on the show. And Jane is watching in Sweden, one of our regular lovities. This was a great, and she emphasizes, great show. Fair play. Thanks, Deirdre, for that. That's our phrase of the day, folks. Fair play.
Fair play.
Now that you know what craic is and fair play. Thanks, Deirdre, for being here with us. And welcome back again. She's already welcoming you back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. The pleasure is all mine. That's cool. I love that. Thanks, everybody, for these wonderful comments. You're wonderful, Deirdre, truly talented and a great conversationalist. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Do you know what, Jim? I was a little bit concerned because I thought, what are we going to talk about for all this time? And it's after flying, hasn't it?
Yes.
And isn't that a sign of a good time when you don't feel the time?
That's exactly right. Yes.
So I would just like to thank you for being such a gorgeous and lovely and generous host, and to thank all your listeners and for their lovely comments. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Theo Isaacs, I think, says he looks like a Kennedy. Thank you very much. I have Irish in me. He looks like a Kennedy. Well, my father has always said, and I mentioned this on the show, I slip it in when I remember to say it. He has always said, always giving us these wonderful nuggets of information, sort of adult-like nuggets when we were kids and still today. And I think it was 8 or 9 years old when he said this. He said, Jim, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
That was such good advice.
I tell you, wherever the management is, whoever they are, just put those nice words in writing and address it, mail it to management.
Amazing.
That's that Irish wit and wisdom. I tell you, it gets you every time. Fabulous comments coming in from everybody. You are all very welcome. Thank you very much. They all send you their love. Kathleen Walker in New York City. She is Irish. She goes, this was wonderful. Such a beautiful voice. Thanks for being here, Deirdre. And Jen with her Jameson in Pennsylvania says, Deirdre, you are now a lovety.
Oh, sláinte.
I say that all the time. There's Academy Awards, there's Emmy Awards, Tellys, Peabodys, there's Tony Awards, there's Grammy Awards. But how does it feel when you get a lovety on the Jim Masters show?
Oh, look at it. Now I'm speechless.
Now she's speechless. Most people say their feet start tingling. Are your feet tingling?
No, I'd need a Jameson for that to happen.
Sure, need a Jameson for that. One of our guests said that he started levitating as a result.
Oh, well, look at I couldn't even.
The Jameson can do that too. The Jameson does levitation too.
Will you have a Jameson over the Paddy's week?
We probably should, right? Or Bailey's, maybe.
Yeah.
Bailey's would be nice. Bailey's.
Yeah.
Guinness.
Of course, the Guinness. Of course.
That's a well.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, yeah. Or as we call them here, we have a few spuds.
Yes, spuds. And you have the bangers and mash too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I love too? Shepherd's pie.
Oh, I love shepherd's pie, and I love my bacon and cabbage.
Do you cook?
Oh, I do, yes.
Oh, what's your specialty?
Well, I like cooking kind of traditional home cooked meals. So I'd like the bacon and cabbage, or the roast dinners, or the casseroles, or or steak. Yeah, like those are.
Next time she comes back, we're going to talk food. We have a foodie audience here. We could do a whole
Okay,
food
cool.
episode.
Oh yeah, I know.
The
I like good
foods of
hearty food.
Ireland.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
This was wonderful, my friend. Really, thank you for all of the time. We really appreciate it. And anybody who came in late, you can see the entire episode right here on our YouTube channel, archived for you. Thank you for all the great music. Thank you for all of the wonderful levity and crack and great conversation, performing for us live as well. Continued blessing and joy to you and your family. Let's definitely stay in touch. New friends made, Masters and Masterson. And we,
M&S.
Eminem. And as I always say, we'll keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back to the Jim Masters
Oh,
Show anytime, my friend.
that's so lovely. Thank you so, so much.
You are very welcome. Now you're going to go make a sandwich?
I gotta have a little drink now, I think.
She said, yes, it's approaching 10 p.m. You can do that. You could do it without getting scolded.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Deirdre. You're the best. Thanks for all the great time, and a real pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you.
You be well. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's. Bye.
Cheers. Coming to us live from Wexford, Ireland. Yes, in the beautiful, wonderful Emerald Isle. We're talking about Deidre Masterson joining us, award-winning Irish soprano. Did you enjoy this episode? Boy, I did. And we had a great time and great music and just great conversation and so much more. And thanks for, joining us, everybody, live and participating, interacting with us. We really appreciate that. You guys, looks like you had a ball. A lot of great comments, a lot of vim and vigor, a lot of cool comments coming in. And what a beautiful voice, right? Beautiful voice, beautiful personality, beautiful person. Deidre Masterson, gracing us with her wit and wisdom and her wonderful voice on the Jim Masters Show, coming to you here from the USA, from the States, from the New York area, between New York and Boston, along the southern New England coast. If this is your first time watching the Jim Masters Show live series, we welcome you. Be sure and give this episode a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. There is a thumbs up like. And make sure you give us a thumbs up like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Just hit that red subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. That means you'll be a part of the Jim Masters Show family, our lovely squad, when you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And literally, it doesn't cost anything when you do that. You just hit the red subscribe button you see on the YouTube channel as well, which is Jim Masters TV. So drop a comment in the comments section if you enjoyed this episode. Let us know. A lot of people write to us and they comment on the episodes in the comments section. We appreciate you doing that as well. Deidre, of course, all on social media, her website, DeirdreMasterson.com, and YouTube as well. And and you can find me on social media at Jim Masters TV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, our YouTube channel is the one you are watching right now, Jim Masters TV. Now, if you like the Irish artists, because again, as I mentioned, our guests come from Hollywood, Broadway, television, music, film, stage, sports, comedy, culinary arts and food, and inspiration, health and wellness. We have authors, we have musicians and singers, actors, actresses, just about everyone and everything. That's why it's a talk show and not just a interview show. If you enjoyed this, certainly let us know. Leave a comment for us, and you can binge watch hundreds of episodes on our YouTube channel. And if you like specifically the Irish artists, there are a lot who have been guests on our show. As I mentioned, Sir James Galway and Lady Jane Galway, Phil Coulter, most of the gang from Celtic Thunders come through. Ryan Kelly, Neil Byrne, Damien McGinty, who's in the Irish version of Dancing with the Stars right now. He's been on our show, I think, 2 or 3 times. Neil Byrne's been with us a couple of times. Ryan Kelly, Keith Harkin, Colin Keegan, Mairead Nesbitt, a dear friend, she's been with us as well. Chloe Agnew, Lynn Hillary's been here, and Lisa Kelly, and Foster and Allen, and the Rumjacks, and you name it. Oscar Blue, Roy Buckley, Connor McGinty. They've all been here, and many, many, many more. You can see them all archived on our YouTube channel. The Byrne brothers have been here as well. So some have been here from Ireland, some have been here from the United States, some have been here as well from Australia with the Irish flavor. So those who enjoy the Irish artists, you can see a lot of them in the archives here on our YouTube channel, and more to come as well. And of course, all the different genres of guests that we have, not just Irish, but literally everything. Take a look at a couple of comments and we'll get ready to wrap up here. Just to let you know, we have another show in just a couple of hours, and what an epic show it is. We're so excited about this. The incomparable Joel Thurm is with us, legendary Hollywood casting director, former senior vice president of casting and talent for the NBC television network. He cast these shows: The A-Team, Knight Rider, The Cosby Show, The Golden Girls, Family Ties. He cast the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes, he has a new book. What a title, too. It's Sex, Drugs, and Pilot Season, Confessions of a Casting Director. He's going to be with us live from Hollywood at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's just in a couple of hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So you have, for those that are watching live, we call this double Lovity Day when we have two shows, live shows the same day. That's a lot of content coming your way, folks. If you enjoy it, do a super chat, super emoji, super sticker, or do a super thanks on our YouTube channel, helping support what we do. Joel Thurm is going to be with us. It's going to be an incredible, revealing episode, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific today. And we look forward to that. Monday, Yuko Kudo is going to be with us. She's an extraordinary singer, creative producer, artist, and so much more. We're so excited to have her here coming up on our entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series, reaching the entire globe. It's called The Jim Masters Show, and I'm Jim Masters. We love having you guys here. We have a lot of fun on our show. Again, we don't call it an interview show, even though we do have interviews. We call it an entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. You're very welcome. And absolutely, Jen, we've got our beautiful new guitar. Not this one. This one actually was a gift from my brother-in-law. That one there that's on set. We've got a beautiful new guitar. We showed it on Facebook. And thank you very much, Sherry, and everybody watching, Kathleen, and everybody watching around the world. All right. I think she went to get a Jameson. Jen Berry in Pennsylvania is having a Jameson. And we're going to have dinner. We got to have dinner here. It's approaching 5 p.m. And then we've got another show at 8 p.m. right here for you on the Jim Masters Show series. Love having you here. Gang, if this is your very first time stopping by, take a look at the other shows we've done. There's somewhere around 900 of them we've done, and love putting these shows together, all this content. Do, again, give us a like on our YouTube channel. Drop a comment. Take a minute to leave a comment on the YouTube channel and subscribe. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, sláinte, cheerio, hasta la vista. We say moi loop, shalom, sayonara, avida zain. Take care, be well, and don't forget to relax. Relax. Take care of one another. Love one another, and don't forget to take care of you. That's right. Because when you take care of you, then you have the oomph, stamina, and energy to take care of everyone else. But first, take care of you. All right. For everybody here, thanks for joining us on our Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. If you're watching here in the United States, thanks for being with us. And anywhere else around the world, we really value your viewership. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we thank you so very much for that as well. Don't keep it a secret. Let everybody know about this show right here, the Jim Masters Show live series. It's unique and something special that we're doing here for all of you and you and you and you. And we enjoy doing it. A lot of work behind the scenes, but we enjoy doing it for all of you. All right. We'll see you in a couple of hours. We'll be here with another great guest. Joel Thurm, legendary Hollywood casting director, will be with us. We look forward to that. You guys be well. Take care and cheers.